Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Our Voice 360, our perspectives, our ways. I'm one half of the duo here, Chad Bumgarner, and I have with me my man, Pete Hunt.
What's good, family?
Hey, Pete, with that, let's go ahead and rock and roll, man.
And as always, our podcast is brought to you by Let Graphics and Photography. Allow your visions to become reality. At CDB Consulting, great leadership equals great results. How are you leading?
And if there's something you want to hear on the podcast, something you want us to bring up or debate, or, you want to give us some ideas, or if you just want to tell us how we're doing and what you like and what you don't like so we can fix it, it's all for you. It's about current affairs that's going on in our world and our country and how it affects black and brown people. So if there's something you want to hear or you want to critique us or give us any kind of information, we don't mind. Please drop us an email at our email address, ourvoice360@gmail.com. That's ourvoice360@gmail.com. Okay, let's get into it. Today, two big topics that we got to jump into. First of all, we're going to talk about Sage Steele and her comments about, being black and of course, the infamous comments she made about President Obama and his father being black and not around, which I don't know what that has to do with him, being black, but we'll get into it. And also, we'll talk about the one of the big issues of today right now in the NFL with John Gruden resigning from the Los Angeles Raiders. Is that right? It's Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas Raiders, excuse me.
Yeah.
And his emails that were found in an not an instigation, but what is it called?
Not investigation.
Investigation. Thank you. Investigation of
the
Washington Football League,
team.
Washington Football Team, because they were investigating them originally for, cultural unconduct, bad cultural conduct or something to that effect. And in the process of, investigating them, there's some emails that popped up from the general manager's email account of the Washington Football Team, which was sent to him by John Gruden. Some very off script and colorful words that were used. Now, mind you, to be fair and tell it in totality, these emails were sent 10, 11 years ago, but nonetheless, they were sent. And it also brings a point too, Pete, when we get to this topic about where does the statute of limitations end to begin? And that's just anybody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, people can change, evolve, and grow, things of that nature. But we'll get to that with John.
Right.
And then last, ladies and gentlemen, we will have the Black Inventor, the book of the week that needs to be looked at, and of course the Bible verse and things of that nature. So, all right, Pete, let's get into it. So we're talking about Sage Steele and her comments. It started off with a podcast that she had with a former Chicago Bear quarterback. What was his name? Do you remember?
Jay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Jay something.
Jay Cutler.
Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler has a podcast, and he had Sage on. And I forget the actual topic that they were talking about, but it had to do with race at one particular moment. And my understanding is that she's part Italian and part black or something to that effect. And so they were talking about I think it was the census, if I'm not mistaken, and how she was surprised that President Obama put, black on his census, even though he's biracial, black and white. But we all know in America, and I don't know why she wanted to play stupid, but here in America, we all know that law is 3/8 blood black, you're black. I mean, it is what it is. Anytime a black person mixes with anything, well, not anything, but anyone outside of black, that child is going to be considered black, point blank. That's not new. That's been here since we've touched these shores. For any black person not to know that, I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so she goes a step further and she says, he was raised by his white grandparents because his black daddy was not around. Now, I don't know what that had to do with him filling out being black in a census because his father was not around. But to me, it seemed like a huge, that was shade right there. That was shots fired. I don't know why, because that came out of left field. That had nothing to do with the context in which they was talking. And I'm like, why would you go the extra mile or the extra length to throw shots at the former president? What did he do to you? You know what I'm saying? And then again, it's like, Why are you so upset that he chose that, and why does it concern you?
It he was he caught a stray bullet from, to me, and this is my opinion,
Of course.
of somebody who doesn't like the skin that she's in. Which, okay, if you don't like being black and you wake up and look in the mirror every day and you don't like what you see, I mean, that's going to be how you live. You don't like what you see in the mirror. You don't like the black side of your your ethnicity. You don't like the black side of your life. You don't like being black. And that's sad, and it's a shame because, again, we are great. I mean, at the end of the day, we were first at the end of the day. And and it's not an issue if you want to recognize, the white side of your family. Hey, that is wonderful. I mean, as you should. But just know you're going to be treated as a black woman on all accounts. You're going to be treated as a black woman.
She's been treated like that. I don't understand how that's new to her.
Exactly.
What bubble do you
it's
live in
nothing
where
new
you
to
don't?
her, but Chad, if you lie to yourself long enough, you start to believe the lie.
True indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
True
So
indeed.
I mean, and she's using that she's biracial as sort of a get out of jail free card. If I'm biracial, so I don't have to, I can say I'm white, or I'm this and I'm that, and I'm not black, or whatever the case may be, and whatever her rationale is. Sage, you are a black woman. I'm sorry, but I mean, but excuse me, as black people, we should have known what she was about years ago when you allowed the what black folk don't allow people who are not in our race. What we don't allow is people outside of our race touching our hair, whether it be male or female. That's not what we
Yeah,
do.
that was a segment too where I think she allowed somebody
So
to touch her
so
hair.
she allowed former UFC fighter Chael Sonnen in an interview. I mean, he just comes out of his face. Oh gosh, your hair is so pretty. Can I touch it? And she leans her head over and let him and allows him to play in her hair.
She might as well have been a lap dog.
At that stage in the game, we knew what you was about. We knew what you was about. You ain't really about that life, Sage Steele. And it's okay. It's okay if that's how you feel. Because you don't have to feel
Obligated.
you have obligated to uplift black folk or be an example to black women or little black girls. You don't have to do that, and that's cool. You can identify however you want to identify, but just know at the end of the day, you are a black woman and you will be treated as such. It's just that simple.
I agree. I agree, and it's like her comments get bolder and bolder every time she opens them out, to the point where she was suspended briefly from ESPN, but it had nothing to do, like what we said off air. It had nothing to do with the racial comments, the hurtful comments, but it had everything to do with her talking bad about her ownership, the company that she works for.
Yeah.
That's the reason she got suspended. Also, there was an issue with her. She wasn't too big on the vaccine either, but when they, if she wanted to keep her job, that's what she had to do. Now, she could have walked away.
Oh, yeah.
If she felt that strong about it, if her morals were in check, she could have walked away. I mean,
Dave
Chappelle walked away from $50 million. He walked away from it. Everybody thought he was crazy, but that man had values. That man had morals. And he was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So, Pete, did she get the vaccine, Pete? After all that trash she talked about the vaccine, I'm not clear on that.
Because she said in an interview in that same interview with Jay Cutler, who compared her to Candace Owens.
Oh yeah, which she loved.
Yeah, which she loved. Wow.
Wow. But that again,
There you
Let
go.
that further in my Steve
Yeah.
Harvey, that further lets me know
Yeah. Yeah.
where you stand. And
Yeah.
like you said, it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So and it's fine. It's okay.
And
If that's
and it's
it's
fine.
and it's okay
If
because
that's
that's
what you
if that's how you
want to,
feel.
yeah.
But just know they're not going to treat you no different than any other black person if you kowtowing. It don't matter. It don't matter.
And my thing is this, and I'm not trying to go off point here because we're talking about Sage and her comments, especially about the black father not being there for President Obama and her biracialness. But did you not learn your lesson? Did you not learn from Candace Owens how they dropped her like a hot potato? The Republican Party. She's trying to make her way back in. I forgot what she said a while back. But then let's go back even further. Did you forget how they did Omarosa?
Hmm. I
How
mean,
they dropped her like a bad habit?
I mean,
All these black women, and there's some black men too, but
hmm
recently, all these black women that have been all in the far right's
hmm
face,
hmm
getting all that love at one point in time.
hmm
We couldn't tell them nothing. But that fall from grace, for some reason, made them wake up. Now,
no, they're not. Chad, let me
okay.
um say step in and say this real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about them coming back with people like that, whether it's black men or black women. If they you know go that route and then get shunned if they say one thing wrong against a party or a group of people they're trying to ride for. It's not about them, really correcting themselves. It's about I have to be accepted by something.
Mm-hmm.
Some group of people have to accept me. So I left this group of people to ride with that group of people. So when that group of people I'm riding for shuns me, guess where I have to go back to? The people that you left to begin with.
And
So
see,
you're gonna do everything in your power to get back, as they say, to the cookout.
and
You see
see
what
the
I'm
thing,
saying?
but see the thing is, those people that you always come running back to, they're getting tired
Hmm.
of taking people back.
Yeah.
But I agree with one brother, and I can't remember who it is. I do agree with him. We don't have enough of us here in the States to throw away. Even though you got some that love the far right,
Hmm.
they love to be in their presence.
Hmm.
We don't have enough of us to just say, you
Hmm.
know what, y'all can have them.
Mm.
I know you feel
Um.
different, Pete.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel different. I mean, you don't. I mean, you
You
don't.
didn't even bat an eye. Yeah, I feel different. Man.
Yeah, yeah, I feel different about that because it's not even a thing of throwing away. They threw themselves away. It wasn't like you were forced out. You chose to be out. So that would be like if somebody wrongs you,
Right.
you don't have to, you can forgive them, but I mean, you're never going to forget what they done
Of course.
or what happened in the situation.
Hmm.
So I disagree with that. And my thing is this: as a people, we are so, and I don't want to use the word docile, but we are so
Forgiving.
forgiving and loving. That's our nature as a people.
Hmm.
That's just who we are. And we are quick to accept people who have shown that they're not trustworthy.
Time and
And
time and
and time
time
yeah,
again.
that are not trustworthy and are not beneficial to the culture and beneficial to pushing black folk ahead. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And we accept them, and then we'll a week later we'll have somebody else come out, and then I mean, so at what point do you let those people, as they say, the old saying, stand on their own. Every tub has to stand on their own bottom. You got to
Hmm.
stand. You got to stand for what you said you believed in. And if
Right.
those people shun you, oh well, this is what it is. That's the risk. That's the risk you took when you did that. So I mean, do you look at them and say, okay, you did what you did, but nah, I can't. There's no trust there anymore.
And
There's
so
a lack of trust. Yeah.
and also on the same note, the comments that she made when young women come up to her wanting her advice, because even Carrie Champion, I believe, in one of her interviews just like at one point in time, she was my role model. She was who I looked up to, coming into the game. She was
Mm-hmm.
one of the few women of color that was doing it. And
Mm-hmm.
any successful person will tell you, if you're trying to get to a certain level,
Mm-hmm.
you got to have a role model or a mentor who's either there already or who's already done it, because they're the
Right.
ones that can coach you on how to get to that point.
Right.
So Carrie was like, at one point in time,
Mm-hmm.
Sage was her, go to her role model, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And she said it really hurt her heart to hear Sage in that interview
Mm-hmm.
talk about, how some young ladies come up to her and be like, "Hey, Miss Steele," or "Hey, Sage, can you look at my tape and give me some pointers?" And Sage basically said, now some of them based on how they were dressed. She was like, I'd love to help you out. I'm paraphrasing, guys. Don't roast me for this, but I'd love to help you out, but because of the way you're of your appearance, I don't want to be affiliated.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the way you mentor, because and then she goes on to say, and I think this was an ignorant statement, because you truly don't know every person's mindset and or heart.
Mm-hmm.
But she said the way they were dressed, they knew how they were dressed. Now she said, I'm not saying they should um she said, I'm not saying they deserve to get, negative attention or negative,
Mm-hmm.
but you just gave it to them.
Exactly.
It wasn't a grab on their posterior, or it wasn't a foul name, but you still gave negative connotation to that young lady. And like one, I think it was Jamel in her interview about this. She said, "How do we know these young ladies' backstories when they come to us?
Exactly.
For all we know, they could have flown there to meet Sage, and just out of example, the airline lost their luggage. So
Mm-hmm.
the young lady got to go to the event dressed in sweats or dressed in some jeans and a t-shirt, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them know good and well how to dress, but
Mm-hmm.
if the airport lost my luggage, do I miss an opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because of the way you're dressed, I can't associate myself. How do you do that to somebody who's trying to find you, who's trying to get a hold of you, and can only get a minute of your time because you're so busy? And it's like, can you look at my tape and give me some pointers? My contact information is on there. Can you give me some heads up
Mm-hmm.
on how to blah blah blah? And
Mm-hmm.
sweetie, I'd love to, but the way you're dressed, I can't be affiliated, with
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's so wrong. And as a person in her statue, you know what I'm saying? I
Mm-hmm.
mentor young men all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to meet people where they are and
Exactly.
understand where they are. And then, because they look up to you and because they want to soak in your knowledge, now you can say, look, I'm going to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, tell me blah, 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 blah. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, okay, we're at a gala. Explain to me what happened. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Give them the benefit of the doubt. Be like, I know
Mm-hmm.
my dress got lost and the airport lost my luggage. I didn't have enough
Mm-hmm.
money to buy a dress. Okay, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Find out what's going on first before you sit there and make I can't be affiliated with you because of the way you're dressed.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew how to dress. You had trouble with your luggage. I get it. You didn't have enough money to buy a dress. I get it. I used all my money to get here to see you, to get 2 minutes of your time.
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
right there should show you that this young lady is hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And that she wants to work. So that's the person you pull aside and be like, sweetie, okay, y'all give me 5 minutes with this young lady. Okay, this is what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
That 5 minutes or 2 minutes with that young lady after she leaves Sage Steele could change her life.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it could make her 5-10 years down the road one of the biggest, female,
Mm-hmm.
reporters, reviewers, interviews, whatever that she
Mm-hmm.
could be. Because who knows? Man, the thing is, I've learned as 48 years old in this life, one thing I've learned is you have to be patient and humble with everybody, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
The person that you're influencing could be the
Right.
very person
Right.
down the road that you could be working for.
Right.
that could pull you
Hmm.
up. Maybe your career is dying. Maybe you're in dire need of help in some physical or social or financial aspect of your life. And they find out and
Hmm.
be like, you know what, that person helped me when nobody else would.
Right. Right.
You never know what's
Hmm.
gonna happen down the road. So you it just that right there, I think that hurt me more than the black father comment about Obama. Because at the end of the day, knowing
Hmm.
Sage Steele after a while, you kind of expect little shots like that.
Hmm.
It's sad, but you do. But the comment that she made to that young lady or those young ladies, because of the way they're dressed and not taking the time to just get to understand them real quick
Hmm.
and then feed them something that can help, fuel their fire to get them going.
Hmm.
That's beyond me. I mean, man, that's beyond arrogance. I don't even know a word to describe what that was. That bothered me. And I think it bothered me because I have girls.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And really, it's not even about the gender or the sex. It's about how a human being, treating another human being with a lack of basic respect,
Hmm.
all based on appearance.
Right.
Instead of, excuse me, instead of trying to understand, sweetheart, what's going on? This is a gala. What's going on? My thing is giving her the benefit so she can explain.
Hmm.
She might be one of those that, like I said, lost her luggage, or she might be one of those, this is all I got.
Right.
You don't know their background.
Right.
But
Hmm.
if they did whatever it is they did to
Hmm.
get there to see you, that should speak volumes to you. That's the kind of person that you can change just by
But
talking to them for a few minutes. And it
it,
is it bothers me, man.
I get everything that you're saying, Chad. I mean, I understand everything that you're saying because again, your words. When people look up to you, your words matter. Your words matter, and how your interaction with them could possibly, you know, change how they, not only view you but view themselves. Whether it be male or female, whether let's take Sage Steele out of it, let's make it a male, sports personality. It's the same thing. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but back to Sage, but it's part of her DNA because guess what? When you don't like you,
Mm, there you go. Self-hate. Yeah. Yeah.
when you don't like you,
Hmm.
how are you expecting to be a mentor to someone else when you don't like you?
Right.
And again, that's what this boils down to.
That's true. That's true.
You don't like who you are. And again, that's really sad that you live an existence that you don't like who the person that you see in the mirror.
Hmm.
But that's what this boils down to. Because you wouldn't go out of your way to say some of the hurtful things that you say, hurtful and hateful things that you say, if you really like who you are and you really like being a black woman because I mean
Well,
she
you were
goes
really
out of
comfortable in your
yeah
skin. Yeah.
skin
Yeah.
yeah
Uh
she
huh.
goes
Uh huh.
because she goes out of her way
She does.
to say crazy things about black people, and it's just weird. It's weird,
It's
but
like she's vying for attention or something.
yeah,
I
and
don't.
but if you don't like yourself, you go
Mm,
out of your way to not praise, not say anything about your black father, but praise the white man that you married to or was married to.
yeah, he got smart.
Uh, I mean, you talk about only the white side of your, okay, and maybe she's hurt, and
Yeah, it
that's
could be.
totally
Yeah.
understandable.
Hmm.
That if her father or whoever was not in her life, that's understandable to be hurt. I get it. It is what it is, and I mean maybe that's why she's on this thing about black people. Maybe I mean she is genuinely hurt, and again that's understandable, and I feel bad for her, but you know you can't paint every black person with that broad of a brush.
Right.
You
Right.
see what
Because
I'm
you wouldn't
saying?
want that done to you. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, her comments are, I mean, to most black people are, um, off-putting and disrespectful on so many levels. But again, That's how she feels, and if that's how you feel, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how you live, hey, who am I to say that you're
That's
wrong in
right or
that?
wrong. Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. That I mean, but just know when we see you, we
Right.
see a black woman,
And it
and
ain't just us.
you will be treated as such. I mean, it's just that simple. I mean, it is what it is, and so I mean, I hope that sister works whatever internally that's going on, the struggle that's going on inside of her. I hope she works that out. But I mean, but until then, I mean, I don't see the hateful comments stopping. Again, I don't see her not talking out of turn when it comes to black people. I don't see that stopping anytime soon. I mean, because there will probably be another incident where she says something reckless. I mean,
But you know what? Real quick, why was she upset when she wasn't invited to this panel? I think of black women journalists that they were talking. I think it had to do with Black history or black women in journalism or something like that. When you don't identify as black,
why you mad?
right? Why are you
Why
upset?
why
You
would why
said you
would
weren't.
why why would I invite somebody to a black function for black women if you don't consider yourself black?
Right.
Or I'm biracial. I want you to know that I'm biracial.
Okay.
When
Cool.
you just emphasize that I'm biracial,
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not going to get invited. Sorry. And don't feel bad about it. Don't be upset. Remember, you're
What you
biracial.
say? What you say, Pete? Just know.
Just know how you will be treated. Just know. I'm just saying. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's real. As as the saying goes, all skin folk ain't your kinfolk.
Ain't your kinfolk. Yep.
Ain't your kinfolk. And guess what? It's okay.
It's okay.
Now I know that you're not my kinfolk. It's okay. I know where to
I know where
hold
you
you.
stand.
I
Yeah.
know where you stand. I know,
Mm-hmm.
to keep, get the stiff arm in your face,
Mm-hmm.
keep you over there. Keep you over there. And it's okay. You continue to let Chael Sonnen play in your hair. That's what you do. That's
Hey,
all.
Pete, real
Yeah.
quick. Who's the running back for Tennessee Titans? The man child.
You talking about Eddie George?
No, the one that no, the one now. The
Oh,
one
Derrick Henry. Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean she might have to get Derrick Henry.
Yeah. You get the Heisman pose. Yeah, get the Heisman pose. Yes, sir. Well, Eddie George can give you that too because he got one. So yeah, yeah. I mean, just know, man. Just know. I mean,
It's
it's just, and if that's who you are, that's who you are.
right.
But you've been shown for who you are, and now you have to deal with it.
That's it. That's
Now
it.
you have to deal
And
with
and
it.
and the thing is, she was at least she said it. You know what I'm saying? That's how she felt. She said it. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to send emails like the other person we're about to talk about, and
Mm-hmm.
um, Mr. John Gruden and his emails. Um, Now John Gruden became the subject of attention from the investigation by the NFL that was being
Mm-hmm.
done to the Washington football team.
Mm-hmm.
That investigation was dealing with, I guess, a bad culture, for lack of a better term. There were a lot of complaints about the culture there and how specifically some cheerleaders, I don't know if it was a part of the thing or the training to make them an actual cheerleader, but they would be out there topless with the GM and some very influential people, which happen to be older white men.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, they were used as
they
escorts.
were
They
you
were used
right.
as it was a whole list of things they did disrespectful to the cheerleaders.
I'm just pissed that the cheerleaders, the ones that went through it instead of saying
Oh
no.
yeah.
But I mean, I don't know the full backstory, so I'm not going to play judge and jury. But anyway, because of that investigation, they were looking through some emails that were sent to the general manager of the
Mm-hmm.
Washington football team, and in some of those emails,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Gruden came up, and a lot of the comments that he made, he is in
Mm-hmm.
John Gruden, to the general manager via the
Mm-hmm.
emails, were very colorful and off script, very distasteful, ranging from homophobic slurs and racial slurs,
Mm-hmm.
as well as some misogynistic or
Mm-hmm.
sexist comments as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he pretty much checked every checkbox there was to check when it came to,
Mm-hmm.
offending people.
Right.
And the funny thing to me is, Pete, and we'll get into the whole, racial tropes or whatever, because that's what we want to focus on, was, to me, that didn't seem like that was the bad thing that made him resign and get up out of there. It was when they found out about him making homophobic slurs, when they was like, oh, no, now you really got to go. But initially, when the report came out, it was about the racial slurs. And,
Mm.
they just, let it simmer,
Mm-hmm.
and people were talking about it. And like, oh, that's
Yeah.
bad. That's hurtful. And,
Yeah.
you had all these former players that are commentators. I'm not going to go through all these names, but, we ought to forgive him. And, that's what
Ooh.
Christians would do. And I hear what you're saying. I
Mm.
hear what you're
Mm.
saying. Then
Mm.
some are like, hey, that was a while ago, blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, what hit the fan and he resigned. It wasn't even a whole day when the
Mm.
homophobic slurs came out.
Mm.
Then
Mm.
when those emails came out, then his resignation popped up.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came to the racial slurs, it was like, But I will give I was gonna say shots. I will give a shout out to my man Keyshawn, because Keyshawn kept it all the way real.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Keyshawn told y'all, he said back when I 0203, he was a bad dude. This
Mm-hmm.
dude is a con. He ain't what he say he is. But they was like, Keyshawn, you just spoiled. Keyshawn, you just mad. Keyshawn, you say. He said, now, years later, it's coming out what I've been telling you all along. This dude is a bad dude.
Mm-hmm.
This dude is a bad dude. Now, my
Mm-hmm.
thing personally, I feel like people can change and evolve. You can have a mindset 10
Mm-hmm.
years ago. It don't mean it's the same mindset that you have
Mm-hmm.
10 years later,
All right. Mm-hmm.
because of life experiences, because of education, because of various things that can help you form and change your mind and your heart. But as we have come to see
Mm-hmm.
so far, I don't think too much has changed
Mm-hmm.
with Mr. Gruden from then till now.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding and from what I've been reading recently, he's pretty much that same dude.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty much that same dude. But now, and I know you got a lot to say, Pete. I know.
No, no, brother,
But my
brother,
thing
you go
is,
for it. Go ahead.
my thing is this though. It's bigger than John Gruden. Let's not. I mean, he was the sacrificial lamb. But if he wrote this email to one GM, pretty sure he wrote it to some more. And my thing is, how did they respond? Why didn't they report it? Maybe they did. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It has yet to be brought to light. But right now,
Mm-hmm.
what did they say? How did they respond?
Mm-hmm.
And why wasn't it reported?
Right.
Because in order for him to do this over a period of time, that means he had what? Enablers.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
He had people that allowed him to talk and, as such.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so arrogant to put it on NFL email servers, not even the personal, like a Gmail or Yahoo account.
Mm-hmm.
He put it on, NFL, because this was the time when he was working as a commentator, sports commentator. So he was using corporate email to send these types of emails to other, to
No,
the
no,
Washington.
no. Actually, it was the reverse. Actually, he was sending from his personal. Gruden was sending it from
Oh,
his
it was from
personal
his personal.
email, and then the response from the GMs and the people that were in the emails, they were sent from their
Okay, corporate email accounts.
from their corporate emails.
Okay. My
Yeah.
bad. I stand correct. Okay, thank you, Pete.
Mhm.
Keep
Yeah,
us
you
keep
good.
us honest. If we're gonna talk, we got to be honest and tell the
Mhm.
whole thing. So I appreciate that.
Mhm.
But my thing is, bottom line, whether it's corporate or personal, why wasn't it checked then? Because you have the good old boy network in the NFL. We all know this. Everybody knows this. Now you got a lot of people sweating bullets on this email chain. They don't want the rest of these names
Mm-hmm.
to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So now the Players Association is requesting that, hey, you let these out, let them all out. We want to see what else is going on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's back it up. I done said my piece. Let's back it up to John Gruden and emails and the racial and homophobic slurs, Pete, and action.
Uh, it's really funny to me, Chad, that you were speaking upon the racial aspect that John Gruden was talking about DeMaurice Smith. He was upset with DeMaurice Smith during the lockout in 2011, and
Right. How he was leading the
your
lockout.
your
Yeah.
your go-to wasn't that I'm mad at DeMaurice Smith. I wish he would do more for the players. That
Mm-mm.
wasn't your go-to.
Nope.
Your go-to being mad at a black man was his lips are as big as Michelin tires.
And he said he uses that instance when he's talking about people lying. That's
Oh,
a lie.
yeah.
I
So
had a
so
comment real quick. I had a comment with somebody talking about, well, Chad, is that really racist? I said, of course it is. Okay, well, Chad, if a friend of yours comes home and says this white female has no backside, is that racist? I said no, because there's women of every ethnicity that don't have a backside. What ethnicity outside of the African race do you know has full lips and a wide nose? I'll wait.
there you
Because
go.
anytime an ethnicity outside of black speaks about lips, they talking about us.
Mm-hmm.
What Australian you know has full lips like us on the regular? Now you know there's anomalies everywhere, but on the regular. What
Mm-hmm.
German do you know? What Japanese do you know? What Italian do you know? What Greek do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real now.
Mm-hmm.
When another ethnicity talks about big lips or a big nose, they are referring to people who are black or
Yep.
have some black in them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not play coy. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's racist. And
Mm-hmm.
he knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody used that to my, oh, I use that reference when people lying. What lying got to do with big black lips?
Mm-hmm. But again, why do we go there? If you're upset with him, why do you go there?
Right. Talk about his
Why?
integrity. Talk about his logic. Why is
Exactly.
he,
Well,
thinking
he
like
did.
this?
He did call him Dumb Morris Smith,
He
not
did.
D Morris,
But back that
D-U-M-B.
up. Why? Don't just.
Why you calling that man dumb? That man is a highly decorated lawyer. I mean, went to one of the finest law schools in the country. What are you talking about? That black man does not get that position if he's dumb. Please believe it. So again, the racist tropes to DeMaurice Smith would have got him by. Because guess what? Racism is cool if you're not affected by it. He just said he had big lips. It's okay.
Right.
It's all right. And then you have
Pete, remember last week? That little boy called me a monkey. Oh, it's okay. Everybody's a little racist. Remember that story we covered last week?
Yep, there you go. There you go. So again, and then you have black men to come to his defense about disrespecting another black man. Where they do that at? There's no way. He was my coach. There's no way he could be racist.
Who was it that said?
So he just woke up and was just like, okay, there's no way. The person he showed, he was never that way. So he showed you everything about his character.
See, and one of the commentators was like, okay, like this man is really gonna come in your face and tell you who he really is.
Yeah.
He's gonna be one way at practice, and if we have one-on-one meetings or whatever, because his job is to win ball games.
That's
so
right.
he has to say and do things to get you motivated to win ball games. Now, when he goes home, he's somebody else. He turns into somebody else. He talks differently.
Yeah.
What make you think
amongst
see the
his
real
friends?
Right, and his enablers.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you think he's gonna give you his full self at practice. This is a business.
Right. Right. And that's I think that bothered me more than anything, just the quickness of these black folk just dismissing it. Like it was cool. Like he needs to be forgiven. And that was 11 years ago. And you still don't think he don't feel that way now? That man wrote them emails when he was 48 years old. He wasn't 28. He wasn't 18. He wasn't 8. He was 48.
Right.
So he meant every word he said. He meant that.
He just didn't mean to get caught.
Exactly. And to add on to that, these emails go all the way up to 2018.
And see, that's the off air. Remember, I said I wanted to talk about evolution.
Yeah.
Because my thing was, when you're looking for, especially if somebody's going to be in the public eye and they're going to be holding a public, whether it's politics, whether it's coaching or whatever. I feel like you have to look at the person's evolution. Are they changing? Are they evolving? And how did that happen? Okay, well, I can see that. What you just said was what I was saying earlier. I was like, there seemed to be, unless I missed something, no evolution of this dude. Right. It's pretty much the same mindset.
Right.
If you got emails from I don't know when they started, but all the way up to 2018, it's 2021, folks.
That was 3 years ago.
Right.
This is not ancient history.
This is not right. This is not ancient history. Yeah. So, not at all. Like I said before, every coach, it's very rare that you're going to get the full view of a coach. It's very rare because this is a business. And even though you're leading a team and you want to connect with your team, at the same time, there's only so much connection you can have, because at the drop of a dime, anybody can get what? Traded.
Right.
Waived, whatever. So, and I was listening to you talk about some of the black players, like, no, my coach would never. Pete, you got to look at it like this too. Some of these brothers didn't have a dad. And so, with coaches, they kind of step in and try to, give that role, not maybe wholly, but they try to, and those cats latch on to that. So when you hear about another side of somebody that you felt like was kind of like a father figure to you, it's shocking. But I mean, like you said, Pete, I mean, you got to be smarter than that. You got to be smarter than that.
Let me look deep into the camera lens of this camera, and I want to speak to a specific brand of black people. When somebody show you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to be the first one to come to anybody's defense. If they're not your family, if they ain't your people, you don't have to come to nobody's defense. Let it play out. You got Mike Tirico and what's my man's name? The coach, the black coach, Tony Dungy.
Yeah.
Up on TV talking about I worked with him and he was, this, that, and the third, and and Tony Dungy. We just need to let it go. That happened a long time ago, and that was just a situation. Let it play out. Let it play out. Let me finish this thought. Please let it play out. Let it play out, because at some point they really gonna show who they are. They've already shown you that they racist. Live in that. This dude is racist. You don't have to come to his defense for anything. He don't need your help. He didn't need your help to be racist. He don't need your help to defend. Now you out here looking like fools and looking stupid, because those same people who went out to defend him, where they at now? I ain't seen no posts. I ain't seen no tweets. I ain't seen no interviews. None of that. I've seen none of that from them same people the day of or the day after defend John Gruden for his racist remarks towards DeMaurice Smith. Where are those folk at now? Because the NFL sent this to the Las Vegas Raiders in plenty of time. They knew what this was. This was a setup. Okay, We're going to give you these emails. Mark Davis, do what you need to do and fire this man because he's going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fine. They gave them the emails on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Mark Davis didn't fire him. He coached Sunday.
Yeah, sure did.
Next day, guess what happened? The floodgates open. Then we getting homophobic slurs and misogynistic slurs and this, that, and talking about the commissioner, calling him the F word and this, that, and the third. But again, Chad, let's go back to your original point. Why wasn't the racism enough?
Right. We got end racism on our helmets, inspire change. We playing the Negro National League, Negro National Anthem in the football stadiums before the games. Now we got it all over the end zones, and now we get it in our face that somebody's doing the completely contradicting what the NFL claim they're trying to change, and you do nothing.
Absolutely. And what's cool, Chad, if it would let's be real.
If it would have stopped at that, they would have let this blow over. If it stopped at the racial slurs,
he'd still be coaching right now. What does that say? What does that say? Racism is cool amongst in that field, in a lot of fields.
We'll throw money at it, but that's it.
Yeah, racism is not going to get you fired. Being racist is not going to get you fired because it's so ingrained.
If you're white
in this country, it's so ingrained in these systems.
What I want Tirico and Dungy to think about, respectfully, is if the shoe's on the other foot, if they had done this.
Oh, they about to paint.
Who? Well, that's a given.
Yeah, you about to paint. Yeah.
Who would come to their defense that don't look like them?
I'll wait.
They would take your playbook, what you just said. They would what? Wait it out.
There you go.
They might text him and call him, hey, Dungy, it's really messed up, man. I support you 100%. But they're not going to go on TV. They're not going to go on Twitter. They're not going to go out here and do a crusade for Tirico or Dungy and be like, you know what, he needs to come back. That was wrong how they did that. That man has changed. That is not the same man that put those emails out 10 years ago.
They are getting none of that. They are getting none of that. None of it. None of it. But
I don't want to talk about that next question. I think that's personal.
But these brothers were quick to defend this guy. He said something racist about another black man. What do you think he feel about you?
I read one article that Gruden admitted to several of the emails that he wrote.
You know why he admitted it? Because he knew it was coming. He knew the racism was cool because he was fine with that. So he had to go ahead and get ahead of it because he knew what was coming down the pipe. He knew the homophobia, the misogynistic. He knew what he sent because when the racism part, he was like, "Oh, I really don't remember. I don't remember sending though." But then he was like, the next day he was, "Oh, I really, I do remember some stuff I said about Roger Goodell."
I was just frustrated. Yeah, I was frustrated. I was in the heat of the moment.
And Chad, and the arrogance before the floodgates opened, he had a press conference. He said, "I know I told you what, that's not who I am anymore, and I'm not going to answer any more questions about it." And left it at that. So that's how arrogant he was when it came to the racism part. That's how arrogant he was. I said what I said, and what you gonna do about it? That was basically what he said. What you gonna do about it? I still got my job. I'm still gonna go in here and coach these black players. And then you had people on the team defending him. Hold on.
Yeah, even the quarterback was like, "Man, I love that guy, man." And
I'm just specifically talking about black folk. I'm talking about black players.
Okay.
How do you defend that? Because if he was so open to disrespecting DeMar Smith, again, what do you think he thinks about you as a black man?
Well, Keyshawn Johnson was saying the same thing. He said, "You cannot tell me that those black players in the Las Vegas locker room is not thinking, but this is when it just blew up.
Mm-hmm.
There's not because they lost the next game.
Mm-hmm.
They lost it. And he said, you can't tell me that these black players and some of these white players is in there and they not thinking about, damn, is coach really like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Mm-hmm.
like what you see out on the field in the locker room, that's not what's being portrayed in these emails. And it's got you questioning. But
Mm-hmm.
it's but to me, you know, as a player of African American descent, your eyes should have already been opened.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm going to love you up. Of course, I'm going to tell you what you need to know. My job as a coach, I got to win games or I'm out of here. Just like
Mm-hmm.
you. You got to perform or you're out of here.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
not going to tell you, like, look, I really don't like you, black people, but we got to work together because we got to win some games. I'm not about to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you everything you need to know. And I'm not saying every white person is like this. So let's squash that right now. But I got a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time to
Mm-hmm.
show you the real me. I got a job to do.
Right.
You got a job. This
Right.
is a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you being shocked about what was being said in Pillow Talk? Really?
Mm-hmm. Whew. And then let's get to the point where it really popped off. That next floodgate of emails, which got
Yes.
him, which got him up out the paint
Real quick.
real quick. It
Yeah.
wasn't 12 hours.
It wasn't.
It may not have been 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The next flood of emails after the racist email to DeMar Smith, homophobia, misogynistic, all of those.
Mm-hmm.
Why did it take that to get him fired?
Right.
Again, the racism wasn't enough. I just need people to understand that the racism of this wasn't enough.
Well, Dave Chappelle told you. The LGBTQ plus community has a strong movement. And he was like, dog, if the black movement could be that strong, their movement is powerful. Dave said it in his last special. And it's true. Because look at what happened. When the racial slurs were the first thing to come out, or racial tropes, however you want to say it, was the first thing that came out. And it blew up and it simmered. Then the knockout punch, the fury punch, the Wilder,
Mm-hmm.
was when the homophobic slurs and the misogynistic comments came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, it wasn't even 12 hours after all that stuff was put out into the atmosphere. His
He was
resignation was on that table. He was gone. He was gone.
Because again, you know why he would have kept his job. He wouldn't have kept his job if those black players would have been like, nah, we good.
We're not
We
playing.
good on this. We good on this dude. We
Now,
not
see,
playing. We not playing Sunday.
Right. I was about to say, you know how
We're not
LeBron
playing
them
Sunday.
did? How they didn't play that game after that boy was killed by the cops. This was earlier this year, was it? Or fall of last year? It was NBA, because I remember because they were playing in the bubble. And LeBron and them said, we're not playing. We're not playing. Because I forgot who got killed. It was a unarmed black person that got killed. And LeBron and them, they talked to the other team that they were playing against. They were like, they came together and said, we're not playing tonight.
Mm.
Like you said, why didn't the Raiders? Why didn't they get together and be like, we're not playing today?
No, because we have to go defend. Okay, I'm.
Don't do that.
I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it.
Don't do that.
But the quick see what happened was you had all these black players come out quickly to defend him.
Mm-hmm.
You had the Mike Tiricos and the Tony Dungy's. These black. Well, Mike Tirico says he's not black, he's Italian. So I don't know if to
You put him in the category with Tiger. Yeah.
Yeah. But you had all these black men off the rip defend him. So of course they were gonna keep his job because there's not a tight knit group. There's no togetherness when it comes to that, because people are quick to say you can be racist to black people and be forgiven and keep your job and this, that, and the third, because there's no collective from us. I'm speaking to black folk,
Mm-hmm.
of us to stand for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's me personally, I'm not gonna look at you the same, dog. I'm gonna probably fight you every time I see you, and I'd probably get cut and lose my job.
People like on site,
On
on
site.
site.
On site. Because again, what are you thinking about me? If you say that about another black man, what do you think about me? And see, that just should be the mindset. That should have been the mindset of all these black men that was defending John Gruden. What do you think he says about you? Or what he thinks about you? That's my big thing. And again, when he really crossed the line, when the homophobic, emails come out, the misogynistic emails come out, you knew he was about to paint.
Mm-hmm.
With the
You
quickness,
knew that was gonna happen. Yeah.
you knew he was gone. But again, and I hope I find the answer or get the answer at some point between now and I hit the ground and I leave this earth. Why isn't the racism enough? Why why does it take this extra stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Why does it take something else to get him up? And see, the NFL leaked that first because the NFL thinking, okay, there's no way he's going to survive this racist stuff. There's no way.
You know what? It was almost like a warning shot to
was.
Raiders. Like,
that's what it was.
Hey, it's a warning shot now. If you don't get rid of them, then we're gonna have to release some more.
There it was. And they're thinking, okay, this is a over 70% black league. There's no way he's going to survive this. There's no way he's going to survive this racist email about another black man with all these black men that work for the NFL. There's no way.
So that's almost like a litmus test to the NFL. It's like,
There you go. There you go. And now
now they know what they can get away with and what they can't get away with.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these same black men who were defending him, where are you now? Where's Charles Woodson? I ain't seen Charles Woodson. Where's Tim Brown? Where's Tim Brown at? You giving up all this, he was my coach and this, that, and the third. Where you at? Is it cool? Is it cool now since we know he's homophobic and he's why are you not defending him now? Because you were sure defending him on the racism.
Yeah.
Because what, Chad? Go ahead, say it. Go ahead,
say it. They don't want that backlash from the other communities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but you were cool with this man being racist to another black man or using racial tropes against another black man. That just makes me look at you a different way. Because, Chad, I'm gonna be quite honest with you, and it doesn't matter who the black man, woman, or child is. If you show me something that is disrespectful against my people, I'm gonna look at you a certain way. You think I'm gonna defend you? Whether it's you, my family, or it's some dude joker off the street that I don't know, some homeless man on the corner. If you say something reckless about his blackness, you've offended me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not defending you.
Because how you looking at them is how you looking at me too. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Under no circumstances. And what's even funnier about this situation with John Gruden, now the NFL has said there's no other emails like his. So we're not going to talk about any more emails because there are no more emails like his, right? Okay. Man, are you kidding me? It was 650,000 emails y'all got. Are you kidding me?
I bet you the New York Times got them.
I don't know who has them. I don't know who's doing all this leaking, but boy, hey, and one more thing. Boy, Colin Kaepernick was right.
Was he not? This is making him look really good. Because you remember a few years ago, he settled that it was this. I mean, the amount wasn't given, but it was about it had to do with racism in the NFL, and they settled. with him.
Yeah, because guess what? You have to produce in trial. You have to produce the emails,
Mm-hmm.
all of them.
How
That's
many of
called
them?
discovery. 650,000. You have to produce those emails
Yeah.
in a court. That's why they settled. They're not
And it still
stupid.
got out. Look at God.
They're not. The NFL's not stupid. Can you imagine what
And that
Jerry
blew
Jones
over
is sent in the
real
email?
quick.
Can you imagine what Jerry Jones is sent in the email?
And you know that's one of the first ones I thought about.
Can you
He
imagine the owner of the former owner of the Texans before he died? What he sent in
oh,
the
Shram,
email?
Tex Shram.
No,
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 that
no.
was
That
long.
was
That was
Allers.
using
That
Oilers
was
back in
Allers.
the
My
day.
bad. Yeah, yeah. My
When
bad.
and this is the same man that compared the players to slaves. Can you imagine the emails he sent? Can you imagine the emails these general managers and owners sent when the Colin Kaepernick stuff was going down? Can you imagine? No, man, listen. That's why the NFL just said yesterday said there's no more. There's no more emails like John Gruden. John
Yeah,
Gruden
because
he was the sacrificial lamb.
this was gonna ruin the NFL. They had to stop while they was ahead. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding. Stop the bleeding.
Bruh.
There are no more
I,
emails.
mm-mm, mm-mm. Because now what they thought was going to happen was that, they're going to throw John Gruden under the bus. They're going to throw the former GM of the Washington
Washington football.
football team under the bus. So basically, he can't get another job. Gruden can't get another job. And they thought it was going to end at that. No, dog, you've opened the box.
The Pandora's box has been open.
There you go. So now, folk got to dig. Now we really got to know what these emails are about.
Yeah. Who else said something?
See, it backfired on them.
Mm-hmm.
It backfired on them.
Because now people want to know who else said something. Who else agreed?
Yeah.
You can't just open part and be like, that's good. No, we want to see it all now.
Yeah.
Want to see it all. But man, Pete, we got to wrap this thing up, boys. It's getting heated. It's getting heated. But we got to wrap this thing up, man. So great conversation. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to move on to the book of the week, and it's called How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi, Kendi. How to Be an Anti-Racist. Ibram Kendi's concept of anti-racism re-energizes and reshapes the conversation about racial justice in America, but even more fundamentally points us towards liberating new ways of thinking about ourselves and each other. And How to Be an Anti-Racist, Kendi asks us to think about what an anti-racist society might look like and how we can play an active role in rebuilding it.
Mm-hmm.
In this book, Kendi weaves together an electrifying combination of ethics, history, law, and science, bringing it all together with an engaging personal narrative of his own awakening to anti-racism. How to Be an Anti-Racist is an essential work for anyone who wants to go beyond an awareness of racism to the next step, contributing to the formation of a truly and just equitable society. Again, How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram, Ibram X. Kendi, Kendi.
Yep.
Okay, I think that's a very worthwhile read.
Yep.
So, all right, moving on to our Black History inventors. Y'all gonna love this. Meet the Black inventor who created the first digital cell phone. Many people attribute I can't even talk. Many people attribute the invention of the smartphone to the Europeans, but in fact, the first digital cell phone was invented by an African American named Jesse Eugene Russell. Russell was born April 26, 1948 in Nashville, Tennessee. Lived in a very poor and socially deprived part of Nashville. Fortunately, he got an opportunity to attend a summer education program at Fisk University and did very exceptional. Then he moved on to studying electrical engineering at Tennessee State University. He graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, and then he furthered his academic career by getting his master's at Stanford University in Electrical Engineering. Now, while Russell was working as an engineer in AT&T Bell Laboratories in 1988. And let me also point out, he was the first African-American HBCU student to be hired at AT&T Bell Laboratories as well. He created a concept for the wireless digital phone and communication. At the time, mobile devices were mainly used in vehicles, right? So Russell designed a cell phone that could transmit signals between handsets and cell phone towers. Doing so would make mobile phones more handy and also more affordable. In one statement, Russell said, most of the time people are not in their cars, right? So he also said, well, that seems like an easy problem to solve, right? Why don't we just take the phones out of the car and put them on the people? Russell is responsible for other innovations in the field of wireless communication systems. He also created a company based in New Jersey called Inc. Networks Incorporated, a broadband wireless communication system that focuses on 4G broadband wireless communications technologies, networks, and services. Again, the brother's name is Jesse Eugene Russell, the black inventor who created the first digital cell phone.
Wow. Oh, Chad, I need to use those 3 words I use every week.
Please do, my brother. Please do.
We are great, man. We are great. We are a great people. We are a great people.
And it don't stop. Oh my gosh. It just keeps going, man. These inventions that I've been finding and coming up with are amazing. They are amazing what we're doing. And it's like, it's not well known. It's not in any history books. It's like we said before, it's kind of like hidden in plain sight, which is really sad. Really sad. But, I digress. But, so, Pete, is there any other words, comments that you want to give to the people before we wrap up?
As always, protect yourself at all times. Protect your family. Be aware of your surroundings, because it's a lot of bad things going on in this world right now. So protect yourself, protect your family, protect your people at all times.
I hear that. And the Bible verse, quote from the week, comes from Psalms 28 chapter 7th verse. And it reads, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusts in him, and he helps me. My heart leaps for joy, and with my song, I praise him." So if you're looking for strength, strength is within, because that's where he dwells. That's where he resides, hopefully with you. I would hope so. And before we get going, folks, I got to do it. My famous quote from Marcus Garvey: "Never forget that intelligence rules the world and ignorance carries the burden. So therefore, remove yourself as far as possible from ignorance and seek as far as possible to be intelligent." Marcus Garvey.
There it is. There it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to another week's edition of Our Voice 360, our perspectives, our ways. Take care, be blessed, and we are out.
Peace.